Hi Hylians, I'm Nico, and this is part 3 of my true 100% Skyward Sword HD walkthrough of us trying to get everything possible in the game, and today we're gonna go into the Skyview Temple. So whether you're here from the last video or you're here just to see how to get through the Skyview Temple, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want more Zelda content, I hope you consider subscribing or at least checking out the channel. Let's go. So before we get into the Skyview Temple, you can run around, cut some grass, try to get some stuff. But if you go to the right side of the temple, you'll see this tablet. It says to look at some star that a bird is looking up at. And the bird that they're talking about is the bird on the door, and if you look up, there's a little crystal diamondy pink thing. Shoot it with the slingshot, and then you're making your way into the Skyview Temple. When you're in the Skyview Temple, Fit tells you that she can't find Zelda, but she says to look around. So follow along the path, cut some grass if you want, kill the bat, and if you see this web, the way the game wants you to get through them is to cut and make a way through the web. But the way we're going to get through it is to just roll through them. Continue through, defeat some bats, cut some grass, cut some trees that are lit for more stuff. Then you're going to see a Deku Baba up on a ledge. You need to cut the tree. And the way the game expects you to do this is to shoot the Deku Baba with a slingshot, climb up, defeat it, and then hit the crystal. Your other option, if you have good aim, is just to shoot the crystal with a slingshot. Then the door will open, and let's get through the door. In this room, you'll see some grass, cut it if you want some stuff, and you may see some amber relics on the wall. All you have to do is roll into the wall, and they'll drop. If you read the tablet, it'll tell you to ask Fi what to do in this room, but I'll be Fi for you. The eyeball will follow the tip of the sword, so swing the sword around in a circle till the eyeball gets dizzy and then it'll drop. In the next room you'll find 2 Deku Babas on the ceiling and some spiky balls. You can't just roll past them, but I want stuff so I'm gonna defeat the Deku Babas. After you pass that little hallway, when you turn around you'll see some vines on the wall and some spiders. You can knock them down with the slingshot. When you climb up, you can break these walls, and now you have a shortcut if you are ever to come back to the Skyview Temple. And at this point, there is a bird statue where you can save your game, and just so you know, if you want to go back outside, you can use the bird statue to do that too. You don't have to run all the way back. In this room, there are 3 entrances to the north, west, and east, all locked. There's also a bokoblin in the middle. Let's defeat him. To get to the ones in the west and the east, there are crystals. The one on the east, the crystal's right above. And the one on the west, we'll go there first. I don't know why. The crystal is under the door. Plus there's a blue rupee here. Now in this room, you'll first see a bokoblin. Let's defeat him. Then you'll see a bridge that you can't cross because of the spiders. But if you look to the right of the bridge, you'll see a pair of vines. Let's shoot those vines and jump across. When you're on the other side, you'll see a quad baba. Let's defeat him. Then we can defeat the spiders by poking them in the belly twice. Then in the center of the bridge, if you look to the east side, you'll see a crystal. Let's shoot that crystal and the water will rise. Continue across the bridge, make your way through the door. You'll find yourself back in the first room, and then you'll see a treasure chest with a dungeon map. Feet tells you can open the map by pressing the minus, and the X on the maps are crystals. But now let's go to the room in the east. In this room, you'll find a spider web, and somehow I magically just rolled through it. Then you'll see a big spider in the center of the room in the bridge. In order to defeat it, you need to swing the sword so it turns around, and then you poke it in the belly. Or you can fail like I did and forget about it. On the bottom of this room, you'll see a hole in the wall. You could crawl through it right away, or if you're like me, you want to defeat all the enemies, and you could get lucky like I did and get a monster horn. Now in the hole, hit the crystal, climb up the vines when the water rises, and make your way through that hole. And just because, I want to go back and defeat that spider. Now we still don't have a key for the north door, so we're going to jump across this log still on the east side, use the slingshot to hit that one spider, climb across the vines, and make our way to the next room. You see another spider hanging from the ceiling, turn it around and poke it in the belly. Then you'll see 2 eyeballs and do the same thing, allow your sword to go around in a circle, the eyeballs will get dizzy, fall, and you'll open the chest for a key. Let's go back to the first room and head through the north door. You'll find yourself in a domed room. The area is full of dangling skulltulas, green bokoblins, and swarms of keese. You don't have to fight anything, but of course, I will. But before we do that, you'll see a crystal straight ahead. Let's shoot that crystal and make our way through that first door. In this room is the first mini-boss, the Stafos. The Stafos will guard in a specific direction, so swing your sword away from the guard. You can also use a shield bash when he tries to attack and his arms will fall off, and swing your sword at that point. If you block without using a shield bash, the shield will take some damage, so try your best to do it that way. If you lose any hearts, there are hearts surrounding the room, and after defeating Stafos, you get your next item, the Beetle. This works like a drone. You shoot it, and then you can use your Joy-Con to pilot it. It can collect items, hit enemies, scare enemies, and for this particular room, we're going to use it to hit the crystal that we came in from. Now let's make our way to the west side of the room, and you'll see a bird statue if you would like to save. Right by the bird statue, you'll see a gated door, and the way you'll get through this door is to shoot the beetle at the holes above the door, and behind those holes you'll see a crystal. Hit the crystal with the beetle. Before I get into the door, I'm going to clear this room. So we're going to use this beetle to hit the skulltula's web to knock him down, poke the skulltula in the stomach, use the beetle to go through this first hole, and you'll find yourself a red rupee. By the entrance and the east side of this room, you'll see a green rupee, a few keese, a bokoblin, and a skulltula. Let's defeat all of them. On the southeast side of the room, there's a hole with a red rupee. And on the east side of the room, there's another hole with another red rupee. You can use the beetle to knock down this box, and there's a fairy. On the northeastern side, you'll see a green rupee on the statue and another hole. There's a green rupee and 2 blue rupees. Back by the bird statue is another box. It has a red rupee. And on another side of the room, there's another box with 70 rupees. You'll then see a heart piece behind the dome in the center. The way you get this is to shoot the beetle as high as you can and hit the crystal all the way at the top of the dome. Now let's make our way to the room to the west. In this first room there's nothing, so make your way to the next door. And then you'll see 3 eyeballs. A skulltula will drop, and the way to defeat them is to swing your sword upward to flip them over, and then jump the stabby thing in the stomach. Climb the vines to the right, and then you'll see 2 boxes. One of the boxes has hearts, and one of them just drops. The one that drops, you push it down the ledge, then push it 8 times forward, and 7 times to the side is good enough. Stand on top of the box, and you should be able to attract all 3 eyes. Use your sword, swing it around, and then you'll open the chest for another key. When you go back in the room, the way you get through this is to use the Beetle as high as you can, over everything, and there's a crystal there. Hit the crystal and the water will rise. Swim across. And the way to defeat this skulltula is to knock the web down so it drops, and then flip it over and poke him in the stomach. You'll see some trees that are lit up. You can cut them to get some more rupees. Cut the trees at the end of the room and crawl through the hole, and you're back to the domed room. Now let's make our way to the east side of this room, and you'll see a rope with some Deku Babas on the ceiling. Use your Beetle to defeat them. I don't have footage, but if you don't care about defeating them, you can run across if you balance well enough without having to defeat them. And if you're curious what's down below, there are 2 quad Babas. You can defeat them if you want to see if you can get some stuff. Now in this next room, you'll break through these 2 walls, then you'll find a Staldra. If you defeat 1 or 2 heads, it'll grow back. The way you defeat them is to find the line and swing and hit all 3 of them at the same time. In the next room, we're in our last room. You'll come across a bokoblin and a skulltula. Use the Beetle to knock it down and then jump across. You'll then see a crystal hit the crystal and the door will open. This allows you to get here faster through that domed room. Now in the center of the room, you'll see a rope that you have to balance across. You'll also see a bokoblin on the other side. What you can do is allow the bokoblin to come chase you, and then you can jostle the rope to make him fall. You could also just shoot him, allow him to go on the rope, and then shoot him again to fall. But I want a chance for more stuff, so I'm going to allow him to come across and then defeat it. Nothing. To the left is a treasure chest with a red rupee. And if you see this big door, you need a key for that door. Now we're going to go get that key. Make your way to the other side. Climb the vines. Swing and jump across. It's pretty linear. You'll figure it out. You'll see some vines that you have to knock down, shoot them, and then swing across to the other side. You'll then find your boss key for this dungeon called the Golden Carving. Climb up to the vines to the side. And then you can jump across, and then you're back to the beginning of this room, walk across the rope, and let's save our game before we enter through the boss door. Now in order to make your way through this door, you need to turn the key a specific direction. It's hard to explain through voice, so I believe in you, you can do it. You will now meet the Demon Lord Girihim. He says that he's trying to get Zelda. Link gets upset, pulls out his sword, then he calls Link a foolish boy. Then he does this weird thing with his tongue, and now he wants to fight Link. Now let's talk about how to defeat Girihim. If you just swing your sword randomly, you might get caught with him holding your sword. And if you don't swing your sword around enough, he'll actually take it from you. When he does, he tells you that if you telegraph your attacks, you'll never land a blow. So if he has your sword, just wait till he throws it at you. Now when he gets close to you, you'll notice he holds his hand at a specific direction. This is like the way the bokoblins hold their sword when they're guarding. You have to swing away from that guard. What's a little different that Girihim does is that he'll hold the guard in the direction you're holding your sword. So if you hold your sword up, his guard will be up. If you hold your sword right, his guard will be right. So what I'll do here is hold it to the right so his left side is open, and then swing the sword to the right. And if I hit him once, try to hit him a couple more times. And then repeat this for a few times until he gets to phase 2. In phase 2, he'll do a few things. He can throw these little knives at you. You just swing the sword in the direction that the knives make, or just get out of the way. Or he'll teleport near you, hold his sword in specific guard, just swing the sword away from that guard. He may also do this charged running attack. For this one, just pay attention if he's going to the left side or the right side of you. If he's going to your left, swing from the left. If he's going to the right, swing from the right. And the last few things to keep in mind is that you can shield bash all the attacks. You just have to time it correctly. If you don't, the shield may take some damage. And if you hit him once, he will get stunned, so swing a couple more times. And lastly, there are hearts around the room if you're low on hearts. Just break those pots and you'll get some hearts. After a while, Girihim will say you did pretty well for a soft boy. Then he'll say that the girl's gone, so he wants to leave. A heart container will come from the ceiling, then you'll see a door. There's a couple things behind this door before we leave the dungeon. In this next room, you'll see some water, some stairs, some pillars, and you'll see some birds. Now, if you're like me and forgot that there's a cutscene, if you pull out the bug's net while you try to catch these birds, Link will be holding the bug net during the cutscene. Either I ruined the cutscene or I made it better. While I'm here, you can get some butterflies, some bird feathers. You cannot catch the fish. There are fairies in the back if you need them. And there's also a goddess cube. You can keep trying to get some birds if you like, but also using the beetle, there's a rupee on top of this pillar. You can then use your goddess strike by the statue. Vid tells you there's a message written in the language of the gods, and she's gonna translate for you by singing and dancing. She says that Zelda needs to go to 2 springs, and she's already been to this one, and the next one is in Eldin. And the way we're gonna get to Eldin is by getting this tablet. She then says to take the tablet to the goddess statue in Skyloft. You'll be outside the Skyview Temple. The Kikwi will say hi to you. He just says thanks. Such a nice Kikwi. Well, guess what I'm going to do next? I'm going to cut some grass and try to get some birds. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps. I hope you liked it. I hope you were entertained. Next, we're going to do some side quests on Skyloft and make our way to the Eldin Volcano. Thumbs up if you liked the video, and I'll see you next time!